So last time we had a very interesting conversation, I felt, and we had a lot of questions from the audience. So many people showed a lot of interest. We didn't have time to go over some. So today, thanks for taking the time. Let's take those questions one by one, and we'll take them in the order they came in. So are there, in your opinions, any activities in HR which are not connected with data? Are there any tasks that HR still, for which HR will still depend on individual decisions, and where artificial intelligence will never really be fully implemented?
Yeah, when I was reading this question, that was triggering a thought that all of the activities are going to go through data and artificial intelligence, and at the same time, all of the activities, they're going to stay under control of the humans. What do I mean is that, like, I'm not that much concerned in terms of artificial intelligence overtaking HR activities. I think it's a key enabler to empower us to take quicker and more effective decisions, more data-driven. And if you follow this line of thinking, there are some activities where artificial intelligence, I'm thinking about initial CV screening or matching algorithm, where artificial intelligence can help us really to be super fast. But then there's going to be someone that is going to take the last decision and the final decision, balancing different elements. And on another side, some activities, you think about performance discussion, calibration session, coaching session, where actually the HR professionals are always going to be there, but the data can enrich their point of view. So from easy data surveys to more behavioral data that you can get from the system or the way even we exchange information. So I think data and artificial intelligence is just a great opportunity. I'm not concerned that something is going to disappear. I really hope that we can be faster, more effective, and we can have more data points, not that much in terms of quantity, but in terms of quality that is helping us taking decisions. With this, I mean, my concern is more on the fact that now we're asking data for the sake of it sometimes, just because we know we need more data to take a decision in terms of asking ourselves which are the right data to take a decision. And very easily you can end up in a data binge, you know, it's like, oh, I have too many data points to decide. I think this is the challenge, not someone overtaking our activities.
Good, well, that's good news for all HR professionals out there. So
yeah, that's positive. Function as well, so yes, I still see a future.
Good. Well, thank you for the answer. Okay, next question. So you mentioned, based on our discussion last time, that ING was very forward-looking in terms of its practices, and it sounded to one of our participants that ING had moved to agile ways of working. How has HR strategy contributed to this, and how has it changed structures, processes, policies for the company in order to make it more agile?
Yeah. First of all, ING has a long tradition of developing agile solution. The ING journey about agile started more than 10 years ago with the ops and IT side, and progressively been expanded and translated to different parts of the organization. This effort was led under the Chief Operating Officer domain, obviously with the support of HR, but the real focus was connected to the processes, the policies, and the procedures. The role of HR has been especially in collaborating and contributing in terms of which are the behaviors that we want to create, and how these behaviors are translated, for example, in people practices that are coherent with the agile way of working. One of the examples is the performance management side. When you move from an agile to a non-agile organization, performance management is changing. In a non-agile organization, the assessor quite often is your direct manager. In an agile organization, the colleagues that are providing input are people in your squad. And none of them necessarily is your direct manager. You have someone called a chapter leader or the responsible of your development that has to collect feedback and input. So you see, you're expecting a shift in terms of behaviors from direct manager collecting input and providing feedback to someone outside the team collecting input and providing feedback. And indeed, the people process part, in this case, the performance management, has to be updated. Has to be updated both in terms of how the process works, very easily. Who is going to get the form? Who can validate the form? Who can push on submit or save? Very technical and practical, to more the behavioral side. If Luigi is in charge of collecting input about Arnaud, but is not working directly, I have to make call and collecting input. How does it work? How can I build an unbiased view? How can I probe for understanding? So you see different skills or different needs that you have to develop in the population. This has been the role of HR. If I'm thinking about the role of HR analytics, is quite often in terms of always trying to make analysis of the same dimension for agile and non-agile environment. So quite often when we run analysis, especially on what we call now that we are developing in ING, behavioral data science field. So data science and data analytic applied to the behavioral side. We try as much as possible to make comparison of the full agile teams versus the partially agile, the non-agile, and the level of maturity, to even see if the organizational setup is influencing some behaviors, either positively or negatively, because there are always something that is not perfectly working. So this is the way we, from an analytical side, we're approaching the understanding of the implication of agile.
Great, thank you.